Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Marie. In this video today, we are going to be exploring the energies of our heart chakra. And it is one of the most beautiful energies, and I absolutely love this chakra because it really is all about the energy of love. In our fourth chakra resides several areas of importance to us, and I want to take a moment and just explain before we move a little further about our thymus gland. And it's actually located right pretty much dead center of our chest where our heart chakra center is. And by doing a gentle, what we call thymus thumping, it can actually initiate an immune response in our body. So our thymus can do many things for us, but one of the lovely things that it's representative of is our immune system. So if you just for a moment before we start today, if you just take your wrist and your hand, and loosely make a fist, and we're going to, for 30 seconds, we're actually going to thump our thymus, just like, Tarzan, if I'm not dating myself for too many people, Tarzan that used to thump his chest. And we want to do this for 30 seconds. So go ahead with a loose fist and start thumping your thymus. And what this is doing as you're doing this, you might be laughing at yourself, but you actually are initiating a protocol within the body to give your body an immune boost. And if you do this just once a day, you can actually increase the strength of your own immune system. And our immune system takes a real kicking from the fears that we embody in our daily lives and the fears that have us trapped in our traumas of our history. So it's such a beneficial thing. It costs you absolutely nothing but 30 seconds of your time once a day. You could do it in the privacy of your own home. So let's move on into the energies existing within our fourth chakra. Like I said, it's all about the energy of love, and the color that we're finding within this chakra center is the lovely color green, like this tapestry behind me of our chakra system, the color of my outfit today and my headband. So just to give you a representation in that imaginary part of your mind, as we go deep, that's the color to remind yourself of. We're experiencing the musical note of F in this energetic center of our body. The frequency is now up to 30.2 hertz, and it is in the area of our mid-chest, and we'll get into that physical description in a few more moments. I say this all the time when I'm teaching this class live to my students, and it always elicits a bit of a chuckle from everyone, but I'm serious when I say this as well, that when you hear the phrase that love hurts, that's just a really bad 80s song, and love does anything but hurt. The pure, true frequency of actual love is a joyous, wonderful emotion to experience. It has absolutely nothing to do with hurt and pain. So take that old wives' tale, that old 1980s song, and toss that one out the window, because love doesn't hurt. Love is beautiful and kind and gracious, and it allows us to bring forgiveness and all kinds of transformation into our life. Because this is the chakra where all transformation takes place, is in our heart chakra. This is the place where you either get bitter or you get better in life with the choices that you make, about where you place your energy, where you give your power to, or how much of your power do you keep for yourself, for your own creativity. So the meanings in our fourth chakra that reside here is that love really truly is the only authentic power. It's the only power that creates absolute transformation in your life. And it is the power of the universe. It really is the power of love. Know that lack of forgiveness is the greatest personal poison, and that the challenge here is to love unconditionally. And I want to take a moment and step back into that word forgiveness with you, because for a lot of my own life, I had a very misunderstanding of what the word forgiveness actually meant. And in my mind, and I'm sure in just like your minds, that you may have the preconceived notion that forgiveness is something that you do to let somebody off the hook in your history from doing something to you. When in fact, forgiveness is a very selfish act. It's something that you do for yourself, for your own inner healing, so that you don't have to suffer anymore. And just like everything in this class, I always bring things back to perspective. If you change your perspective around that way, you will look on the word forgiveness as a healing tool instead of something that you're doing for someone else. This is for you. The other energy center that lives within this fourth chakra is also that of marriage and the joining and the union in relationship. And in some cultures, marriage is an incredible celebration of love with lots of joy and goes on for days and days. So this is the energy center where that resides. And the motto of this energy center is that love is divine power. Again, love is the energy that rules the universe, right? It is that quality of light that we all go searching for when we start to ask that question, who am I and why am I here? The fears or the shadow sides that are existing within our fourth chakra is that no one loves me, that I'm controlled by others, that I don't have control over my own life, that everybody else is controlling what I say and what I do, and or that I'm emotionally scarred beyond recovery. These are some of those shadow emotions and fears that live within that energy center. And know this is something that we all relate to. You know, we really are all one. We really all do breathe together. And we really all truly do have the same fears. So know that you're not going through this alone, but you're excavating an area of yourself. You might not have opened that door before until now. The strengths residing in our fourth chakra are knowing that you're a loving person, having the ability to love unconditionally without putting in a set of points or goals that I'll only love you if you do this for me, and I'll only love you if you do that for me, and I'll only love you if, you meet this line on my chart. It's having the ability to love unconditionally. And the reality is, it's learning to do that for yourself first. You have to learn to love yourself unconditionally before you can ever love anyone around you unconditionally. Otherwise, judgments come in. And that's for the next chakra. Also, some of the strengths residing here, because this is the energy center of where transformation takes place, that you can forgive others that have harmed you in the past. And you can look beyond that and find a grain of wisdom to hang on to so you can let go of the stuff that's hurting you. And to get to that point where you know that you can be unconditionally loving, that you don't have a chart that you got to set your standards by for each person in your life, that you can just love them for who they are. And it doesn't matter if you agree, but to love unconditionally. It's learning to love yourself in exactly the same way. You might not like your toes, you might not like your knees, you might not like the shape of your nose, but at some point, you must embrace who you are to love yourself unconditionally so that you can move out of the traumas that trap you energetically in your history and keep you weighed down. Physically, this energy center is all about this part of the body. So it's your heart, your circulatory system. It's about your lungs, your rib cage, your diaphragm. It's to do with your thymus, your breasts, of course, your esophagus. And also know that the arms and the shoulders and the hands, they share the same energy as the fifth chakra. These are parts of the body that they fall within the two of these chakras, the fourth and the fifth. And the law of the universe or the mystical law or the laws of science, however you want to view this in your own life, that the fourth chakra applies to is the law of sensation. So the law of sensing, and in this case, It's the law of sensing the truth and understanding that it is that truth that sets you free. Learning to speak the truth to yourself, stopping those lies that you tell yourself every day and others, learning to live with the bar raised a little bit higher. And again, that all comes from the building of the sense of self that we talked about in our last video in the third chakra. Know that in this part of your body, that this is where your sins stick. And this isn't something that I really need to explain to everybody, because you already know what it feels like in your biology when you do something wrong, when you do something you know you shouldn't do it. You know where you feel it. You actually might get a hit in your third chakra as well, but you'll feel it as an ache in your heart. And it's those things that cause us to want to symbolically at least be looking over our shoulder all the time. And the other thing that you need to really, really embrace about this chakra is that not only is this where forgiveness resides, but this is exactly where the healing begins. Because once you've built your bottom three chakras, and your bottom three chakras are just like building a table, okay? If you've got a nice tabletop, you can't make a very stable table with 2 legs, but you can with 3. Your body's no different. So in building those foundational bottom 3 chakras, learning to build that sense of the self, knowing what you can and cannot take in your life, learning to have your own line of integrity and honor code, then you are able to start looking at life in a little clearer lens where you're not so bogged down with the trauma of your history, but you actually start letting go of it, and you start letting that happiness and forgiveness seep into your biology. And let me tell you this, when you realize how to make that part work for yourself in your life, when you get there, you're going to realize that a lot of your physical aches and pains that you've been dealing with, they all of a sudden just leave. And that's the beautiful part of the word dross that we talked about in our very first introductory video, how the physical body can hold on to energetic information and cause the physical body to feel pain and aches and arthritic conditions and all these sorts of things. The journey of healing is all about letting go. It's all about letting go. And as we do that, we not only get clearer in ourselves, but our bodies clear up as well. We actually become healthier in both body, mind, and soul. And remember this always, that it takes an incredible amount of courage to let yourself heal, to allow the information that I and others share, to allow yourself to heal so that we can help be a part of healing that collective whole, because remember, we really are all one. And at this time now, I would give you a moment to pause the video, take in your time for imbibing, if that is what you choose to do. And before you enter into that space, make sure that your physical space is ready when you come back from doing that, so that your mat is all ready for you, that you've got your pillow set up, that you've got your blanket or your towel that you're going to roll up for underneath your upper back. You've got that positioned on your mat so that it's right there for you when you come in, that your blanket is ready to cover you up, that you have, in fact, pulled out all of your tools from the little toolbox that I sent you with your oils, your Palo Santo, your quartz crystal, and to prepare those in the way that I have shown you already with your cotton ball, and getting ready to just have your space ready for you to slide right on into, so that you don't have to break that lovely rhythm between bringing that message of our sacred cannabis in and moving into that horizontal space that we'll take for the rest of our time together. So I invite you to do that now. And so now's the time to find that comfort on your mat. Making sure that that bolster or blanket or pillow is rolled up in just the perfect position underneath your shoulder blades, opening up our heart chakra. That you have placed your clear quartz crystal at your crown chakra. That you have your cup of tea or whatever it is that you would like to have for a beverage beside you. That you have your blanket to cover you up and your eye pillows or any other things that you need to bring into that space. And find that place of comfort now on your mat. Maybe having your arms lying on either side of you. Or maybe you would choose to increase the sensation of the stretch in your heart chakra by offering your arms out to either side of you, palms facing up for receiving. Or if you've had a busy day, maybe palms facing down to offer yourself grounding. And then just allow yourself to settle here. Allowing yourself to know that you are fully supported by the mat beneath you. That you are completely safe within this space. And know how deeply you are loved. And now allow your awareness to gather into those 3 familiar cleansing breaths where we draw the breath in through the nose, gather any tensions we find in the body, and then release it with a deep exhalation. And we begin drawing the breath in through the nose. And then exhaling deeply through the mouth. Again, inhaling in through the nose. And then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And last time, inhaling in through the nose, drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding the lungs, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And then just allow yourself to settle here. Allowing your breath to turn back to its normal, gentle rhythm in and out through your nose. And on your next inhalation, bringing that awareness, that is the power of your imagination, up to the top of your head. And moving down the front side of our body, using that now familiar gather and release technique we do for finding tensions. Starting at the top of our head, moving that awareness through our scalp, through our hair, until our hairline meets our forehead, and allow your awareness to gather there for a moment. Allow that awareness to travel through the folds of your forehead, into your eyebrows, and the sockets of your eyes, your cheeks, the large muscles of your jaw, And can you allow your jaw to lightly unhinge, causing your mouth to slightly open? Can you allow the awareness to travel down either side of your neck, into the contours of your shoulders, your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, and your fingers? And now bring that awareness back to the center of your chest, to the area of your breasts and your rib cage, your lungs, into the area of your stomach, the bowls of your hips, the front side of your thighs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. Remind yourself that the breath is deep and full, yet gentle and smooth, nourishing and healing. And on your next inhalation, bend your knees so that your feet are flat on the floor. And then moving that bolster from underneath your upper back area and positioning it underneath your buttocks so that you feel a gentle rise of your hips when your legs stretch out in front of you. And you should feel a light, gentle stretch in your lower back, helping to open up your second chakra area, that hot zone of information. And then just give yourself a moment to settle here again, offering your body any final movements for extra comfort before we move into those same 3 cleansing breaths. Drawing the breath in through the nose, gathering any tensions that we find, and exhaling them out through the mouth. And we begin. Inhaling in through the nose, drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding your lungs, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And again, inhaling in through the nose, expanding the lungs, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And one final time, inhaling in through the nose, drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding fully your lungs, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And then just allow your breath to return back to its natural form, moving in and out of your nose. And now bring that awareness back to the top of your head. And now moving down the back side of our body using that same technique where we gather and release. Starting at the top of your head, moving that awareness down the back side of your skull through your hair until your hairline meets the base of your skull where it joins with your neck. And allow your awareness to gather there for a moment. And then traveling down the large muscles that live on either side of your spine, using them as a guide, traveling down your neck, through your upper back and shoulder area, into your middle back area, into your lower back area. Allow that awareness to gather into the bowls of your hips, into the fleshy part of your buttocks, into the backside of your thighs, the backside of your knees, your calf muscles, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. And our final exercise of tensing and releasing from our body, using that same technique where we're going to tighten every muscle in our body with the inhalation of our breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to release. And we begin inhaling in, tightening every muscle from the very top of your head to the very tips of your toes. Exhale and release. And one more time. Inhaling in, tightening every muscle from the very top of your head to the very tips of your toes, and hold. Hold. And then exhale and release. And as you do so, learn to understand how good that feels when you let it go. And on your next inhalation, bending your knees so that your feet are flat on the floor, and then assuming that position where you'd like to spend the rest of our time together. So removing that rolled up blanket from your lower back and buttock area, and then finding all the comforts to allow yourself to settle into your space. Now is that perfect time to bring in those extra offerings that I sent to you, as far as placing that clear quartz crystal at your crown chakra, by taking that little piece of cotton and putting a little bit of your sandalwood oil on that cotton ball, and then tucking that into the ridge of the right ear. And then with that finger that you use to tuck that in with, that has the residue left of the sandalwood oil on it, bring that up underneath your nose and allow yourself to have those same 3 deep breaths where you're drawing the breath in through the nose, but exhaling that through the mouth. Softening your gaze, bringing your fingers up underneath your nose, and inhaling in. And then exhaling deeply out through the mouth. Again, inhaling in through the nose, allowing that scent to become part of your biology, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And then one more time, inhaling in through the nose, dropping your hand down beside you to a comfortable position, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And if you haven't already offered yourself a little bit of that lovely Indian gulab, the scent of the rose oil, always remember that less is more. So just a hint onto your finger, drawing that across the back of your left hand, and then doing those same 3 cleansing breaths, where you bring your hand up under your nose, breathing in through the nose, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. Again, inhaling in through the nose, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And one final time, inhaling in through the nose, dropping your hand down beside you to a comfortable position, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. The 4th chakra, your emotional power. The 4th chakra is the central powerhouse of the human energy system. The middle chakra, it mediates between the body and spirit, and it determines their health and strength. 4th chakra energy is emotional in nature and helps propel our emotional development. This chakra embodies the spiritual lesson that teaches us how to act out of love and compassion, and recognize that the most powerful energy that we have is love. Its location is in the center of the chest. Its energy connection to the physical body is your heart, your circulatory system, your ribs, your breasts, your thymus gland, your lungs, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, and your diaphragm. The energy connection to the emotional mental body. This chakra resonates to our emotional perceptions, which determine the quality of our lives far more than our mental perceptions. As children, we react to our circumstances with a range of emotions: love, compassion, confidence, hope, despair, hate, envy, and fears. As adults, we are challenged to generate within ourselves an emotional climate and steadiness from which to act consciously and with compassion. More than any other chakra, the 4th represents our capacity to let go or to let God. With its energy, we accept our personal emotional challenges as extensions of a divine path, which has in its intent our conscious evolution. By releasing our emotional pain, by letting go of our need to know why things have happened as they have, we reach a state of tranquility. In order to achieve that inner peace, however, we have to embrace the healing energy of forgiveness and release our lesser need for human self-determined justice. While the third chakra focus is on our feelings about ourselves in relation to our physical world, the fourth chakra focuses on our feelings about our internal world, our emotional response to our own thoughts, ideas, attitudes, and inspirations, as well as the attention we give our emotional needs. This level of commitment is the essential factor in forming healthy relationships with others. The primary fears that exist within our fourth chakra are fears of loneliness, commitment and following one's heart, fear of inability to protect oneself emotionally, fear of emotional weakness and betrayal. Loss of fourth chakra energy can give rise to jealousy, bitterness, anger, hatred, and an inability to forgive others as well as oneself. The primary strengths that reside here is love, forgiveness, compassion, dedication, inspiration, hope, trust, and the ability to heal oneself and others. The fourth chakra is the power center of the human energy system because love is divine power. While intelligence or mental energy is generally considered superior to emotional energy, actually emotional energy is the true motivator of the human body and spirit. Love in its purest form, unconditional love, is the substance of the divine, with its endless capacity to forgive us and respond to our prayers. Our own hearts are designed to express beauty, compassion, forgiveness, and love. It is against our spiritual nature to act otherwise. We are not born fluent in love, but spend our life learning about it, its energy in pure power. We are as attracted to love as we are intimidated by it. We are motivated by love, controlled by it, inspired by it, healed by it, and destroyed by it. Love is the fuel of our physical and spiritual bodies. Each of life's challenges is a lesson in some aspect of love. How we respond to these challenges is recorded within our cell tissue. We live within the biological consequences of our biographical choices. Because love has such power, we come to know this energy in stages. Each stage presents a lesson in love's intensity and forms: forgiveness, compassion, generosity, kindness, caring for oneself and others. The stages follow the design of our chakras. We begin learning love within our tribe, absorbing the many expressions of its energy within our family members. Tribal love can be unconditional, but it generally communicates the expression of loyalty and tribal support. In the tribal setting, love is an energy that is shared among one's own kind. As the second chakra awakens and we learn to have the bonds of friendship, love grows to include outsiders. We express love through sharing with and caring for others to whom we are not connected through blood. And as our third chakra awakens, we discover love of external things, of our personal, physical, and material needs, which may include athletics, academics, fashion, dating and mating, occupation, and home and body. All three of these chakras involve love in the external world. At one time in our civilization, these three practices of love were all that life required. Very few people needed more than tribal and partnership love. With the advent of psychotherapy and the spirituality movement, however, love became recognized as a force that influences and perhaps determines biological activity. Love helps us heal others and ourselves. Life crises that have issues of love at their core, like divorce, death of a loved one, emotional abuse, abandonment, adultery, are often the cause of an illness and not just an event that coincidentally precedes it. Physical healing often requires and may demand the healing of emotional issues. And let your focus come back into your breath. Drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding the lungs. Knowing that that breath is nourishing and healing to every cell within your body. Allow your awareness now to travel outside of these four walls for a moment. What can you perceive? Can you hear the rumbling of a vehicle or something else off in the distance? And now bring your focus back into this room, back into your four walls, back into the sound of the music, the sound of my voice, the smells in the air. Allow yourself to feel completely supported by the mat beneath you. Allow yourself to know that you are completely safe within this space. And allow yourself to know how deeply you are loved. Let me introduce to you the practice of working with your chakras with the intention of feeding your spirit. Focus your attention now on the part of your body that houses your fourth chakra. Your heart, the color green. This is the part of your body where all transformation takes place. At this fourth level of energy, we move out of the physical and into the spiritual territory. This fourth energy center draws you into depths of feelings, and not just personal feelings for people, family, friends, colleagues already involved in your life. Love, after all, influences everything. It expands your capacity to intuit other people's vulnerabilities and needs, and be open to helping them. And bring your focus back into your breath, drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding the lungs, allowing that breath to nourish and to heal every cell within your body. This is the center of love. This is the heart of your life. Focus on the truth that love is divine power. That this is the only true power that makes any difference in the human experience. That lack of forgiveness is the greatest personal poison. Ask yourself the question, how do I feel about myself today? Do you care enough about yourself to protect yourself from anger? To protect yourself from stressful situations that could be handled with love or compassion instead? Do you care enough about yourself not to hold on to negative energies about another? To protect the quality of energy in your heart? And breathe. Drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding the lungs, knowing that that breath is nourishing and healing to every cell in your body. Take a moment and look at who you met today. The people that you were scheduled to meet. The people that you were scheduled to meet but didn't for whatever reason. And ask yourself, how do I feel about these people? Put each one of them in front of you now. And where you feel love for these people, feel more love. Greet them in your meditation with you now. Let them know that they are welcome into your heart energy. Let them know that now. And now focus your attention on those that you don't like. And ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Say the prayer. Show me why. Tell me why I feel this way. I need to know this because it's becoming conscious. Let me learn more about this. And breathe. Bringing that focus back into your breath. And this time, creating that beautiful golden circle of light in your mind. Inhaling in through the nose, creating that illumination of the first half of the circle, and then as you exhale, illuminating the other half. So that as you move that breath fluidly in and out of your body, you can create that beautiful golden circle of light in your mind. The energy that is you. Focus your attention now on who you should forgive today. Who you should have forgiven yesterday. Put them in front of you now and ask yourself, what is it I would like to say to this person before I will forgive them? Let that rage come out. Let the hurt feelings come out, and let all of your bitterness come out, and feel that. Understand what that feels like within your own biology. Take comfort in the truth that our greatest adversaries are our greatest teachers, and that this is true for all of us. Those people or events in your past that hurt you the most, humiliated you, caused you harm in any way, those are your greatest teachers. If only you can set aside your ego long enough to see the lesson. And now, reverse it. Look at that person, those people, that event, and imagine that they feel the same way about you. Did someone hurt them that much? Release the prayer. We need to learn this forgiveness together. I am grateful for this companion. This companion is a difficult one, therefore I need to learn strength. And that I may very well be a difficult companion to others, and therefore he or she needs to learn strength. Be kind to yourself. Forgiveness is not easy, but I take one more step today towards that strength. And as we prepare to leave our fourth chakra, imagine your day today and envision those energies leaving rose petals wherever you walked, streets, doorways, everyone you spoke to, the place you went for lunch, all of the people that you saw. And imagine leaving rose petals there. And now imagine all of those people that you need to forgive in your life. Put them in front of you now and offer them a basket of rose petals and say, we need to work on forgiveness together. I'll meet you tonight on the energy level. I'll meet you in my dreams. And on to events, to release past hurts, and leave a basket of rose petals there. And say the prayer, I want to know more about love. Teach me more about love tonight as I sleep, and teach me how to love myself more. And breathe, bringing your focus back into your breath. Drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding the lungs, knowing that that breath is nourishing and healing to every cell within your body. And release the final prayer that I have only the now. That my attention will not go backwards into my history, nor forward into my future. That I am committed to present time. To remain grounded in my world, to feeling a bond with each person that I meet, to learning to respect my own integrity and my own honor, to living within the energy of love and compassion this day, and learning to return to that energy when I don't feel it, to making wise and blessed choices with my will, to release the need to know why things happen as they do, and to not project expectations over how I want this day to be and how I want others to be. And finally, my last prayer, to trust in the universe and to bless my day with gratitude and with love. breathing and allowing. All is well. Allow yourself to know that you are fully supported by the mat beneath you. Allow yourself to know that you are completely safe within this space. And allow yourself to know how deeply you are loved. Imagine now that you are lying upon the earth, upon the freshly mowed grass, that you can smell that in the air, that you can feel the final rays of the day's sun upon your skin, warmth. You can feel that evening breeze beginning to caress the skin on your face. And you can imagine that your body and your mind are so relaxed and so at ease that you can imagine on your next inhalation your body beginning to rise, ever so slightly at first, hovering just above the blades of grass. And on your next inhalation, allowing your mind to let your body rise higher. You're above the flowers and the shrubs now, and with each breath in, you move higher into the trees. You can hear the rustling of the leaves as the wind passes through them. And as you breathe deeply in that crisp evening air, your body rises even higher. You're moving into the clouds, and you can feel the moist and coolness of the clouds as your body passes through them. And you can imagine your body rising so effortlessly into the nighttime sky until you yourself become one of those beautiful sparkling lights in the nighttime sky. The energy that is you. All is well. All is well. All is well. And welcoming you back from your journey, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, reaching your arms above your head, giving your body a nice gentle stretch, maybe bending side to side. Maybe taking in these final moments of delicious rest and relaxation for the body, curled up on one side or the other, with your eyes still closed, to take in our final words once again from Carolyn Mace. The heart chakra. Clean out your heart center. Start fresh. If you want to be happy, reboot. Carrying baggage and repeating your wounded stories again and again and again is self-destructive. Punishing others for your bad days and unhappy childhood is cruel, although many find it useful tools as a control mechanism. If you want a happy life with someone or just yourself, clean out your heart center. Get up tomorrow morning and fall madly in love with your life. Or at least start with one thing in your life. Start with you. And as you feel ready, knowing there's absolutely no hurry, to return yourself to a seated position, reaching for that cup of tea that you offered yourself at the beginning of today's session, and just simply the movement of bringing that cup up to your mouth, that physical movement, allows us to come back into this time and space, back into the now, and bringing awareness back into our physical form. And even though your eyes will be open at this point, keeping your gaze just a little soft by looking down at the ground in front of you. Bringing your hands to heart center if it is part of your practice. And let me thank you for taking the time to look into the world behind your eyes, to cultivate and learn how to cultivate those positive emotions that move us forward on our journey of healing and enlightenment through the emotions of our shadow side. The journey within is such a tremendous journey to take. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of yours. Namaste.